I have had chances to talk with a large number of English speakers from different backgrounds. In many of these conversations, one topic comes always naturally. One of the first questions people usually ask is that how is your English? Because your level of English here can strongly affect your life. It influences the kind of job you can get, whether you can enter a college immediately, and even how easily you can handle every task like banking, shopping, or communication. It also affects how social you can be and where you choose to live, since different states have very different communities. Some of them are highly diverse while others are less so. I often find myself asking about the same questions to others as well. Unfortunately, I have now heard many surprising stories. In fact, I met countless people who have lived in United States for many years. Some of them even over 20 years and still speak very basic English. They know only simple phrases, often with mistakes, and struggle to form more complex sentences. I even met a couple of people who have lived here almost their entire adult lives. You still cannot really speak English with them. Almost all of them gave very similar explanation. Most believed that once they moved to an English speaking country, the language would simply come naturally. But the reality is different. Why? Imagine a situation many newcomers faces. What is that situation that every newcomer faces? They arrive in an English speaking country with a little English or with no English and very limited sources. The first priority is survival, finding a job, and supporting themselves with their families. Without strong English, they usually cannot immediately work in their profession. So, many degrees need evaluation, and additional certifications and courses are often required, all of which also require the English language. So, what happens instead? Most people end up working with their own communities, groups of the people from the same country who speak the same native language. In large cities, especially in the US, these communities are everywhere in the US. You can find everything within them: restaurants, stores, banks, clinics, lawyers, and social networks. This creates a comfortable environment where English is not necessary for daily life. As the result, people settle there, find the jobs, and build routines without needing to use English much. Eventually, they think about improving their English and consider taking classes. But by then, time becomes a major issue. Here is the important truth. Becoming fluent in English is not simply a result of living in an English speaking country. No matter where you are, the process is same. You must actively work on it. You need to dedicate time to speaking, to listening, to vocabulary, and consistent practice. And most of this work has to be done individually, whether you are abroad or in your home country. However, many people told me something important. It feels much harder once you are actually in a new country. You are busy rebuilding your life, new jobs, new environment, new responsibilities, and all of this takes your time and mental energy. Because of this, many people regret not learning English seriously before moving to that country. Those who never become fluent often say the same thing. They got comfortable inside their community, stopped pushing themselves. They lived in a bubble where English was not necessary at all. So, once life becomes stable, there is a little motivation to step out of your comfort zone. So, they stop trying to all together. Some of them can still understand English quite well, just like many people watching English videos online. They can follow lessons, watch content with subtitles, and understand the teachers. But there is one big problem. They still cannot speak it confidently. Their vocabulary remains limited and grammar doesn't improve much. Why does this happen? Because of the passive exposure, listening and reading is not enough. These skills improve understanding, but speaking requires active practice. To truly improve, you must use the language regularly. At the beginning, speaking will feel difficult. That's why techniques like shadowing, like repetition, and like guided practice are also important. But this kind of practice usually has to be done intentionally, on your own or with a teacher. Strangers, co workers, or people you meet in daily life will correct your English or teach you systematically. And unfortunately, language does not automatically download it into your brain. Just because you move to another country, that would be nice, but it doesn't work that way. I always say that you can absolutely learn English on your own even without leaving your country. I know because I did it myself. Everything I share this on this channel is based on that experience. And when I came to the English speaking community, I was extremely grateful for that I had already put in English work before moving to there. English was only needed for the one day. However, I often see disagreement in the comments when I talk about this. Some people believe that I am discouraging them and making their learning sound harder than it needs to be. But that is not my intention at all. I am simply trying to save people's time and help them avoid unnecessary struggle. At the end of the day, it's your choice to what to do with this information. But ask yourself honestly, why are you waiting to move to an English speaking country before seriously improving your English? Maybe the reason is motivation. You think that living abroad will force you to learn, but as we have seen that it is not always true. Of course, there are many people who do become fluent after moving to abroad. When I asked them how they did it, the answer was always the same. They combined the courses or teachers with consistent self study. Most of their progress came from the personal effort, watching videos, joining English speaking groups, and actively using English every day. And importantly, it took years of consistent practice. This is not just my opinion, this is based on real experiences from many people I have spoken with. And we are not even talking about a student who move abroad for education. They already arrive with a required level of English and improve naturally because they study in their English daily. Also, there are many fluent speakers who have never lived in English speaking country at all. Some have never visited even one of them. Yet they become fluent through consistent practice, exposure, and dedication. The main message is simple. Anything is possible if you are truly committed with it. That's it for today's video. I tried to keep it clear and focus on the main ideas, but there is still a lot of more to discuss on this topic. So let's continue the conversation in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, like the video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more, and see you in the next video. Thank you.